It sounds like you harbor some resentment.
I don't. I don't want to play Dungeons and Dragons ever. Get on with the recap.
Dear Shandy. Welcome back to another Dear Shandy Love is Blind recap, listeners. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
How are you today?
Doing okay.
Doing okay. Yeah. You've had an interesting week, actually.
I have.
Mm-hmm. You want to tell the Shandies?
I had my once-a-decade jury duty that I had to go to. Put it off long enough.
Yes.
They said, this is it.
And you have a funny story. Please tell them the story.
Yeah. Well, you know, the thing about jury duty is you go to jury duty and then you get picked to be in a voir dire.
Which I have to admit, I didn't understand that.
Yeah, you thought I went right to a jury.
I thought that if you get called for jury duty, you just go onto a jury because I've never done jury duty.
I texted Sharleen from the first day of jury duty and she's like, how are you texting me? She thought I was already about to convict someone of murder. Anyway, so that's not how it works, but I was picked to be in jury selection. So they pick a bunch of people and they put them in a room. And then the attorneys go one by one and ask them all questions and figure out if they're going to be acceptable to the
if
defense.
They're impartial enough.
Impartial enough, exactly. Yeah. And both sides have to agree. So, you know, what invariably happens is you get these people who either, you know, are looking for more excitement in their lives or need an audience of some kind.
Yes.
And they just start talking. So it's a simple question. So the attorney is sitting, you know, everyone's miserable at jury duty.
Yeah.
You look around, you don't see a single person who's like, ooh, this is fun.
Oh.
Everyone's miserable.
But you get to have your phone.
You know, but it's like a low level misery. It's not like everyone's like it's not like in prison.
Yeah.
Or it's like they're being tortured.
I mean, isn't it kind of like a day off?
For some people, I think, but even those people, they suddenly realize like, wow, this is super boring.
Okay. All right.
So anyway, my point is that everyone's unhappy, but then you'll get these people where the attorney will ask them a question. They're like, do you think you could be unbiased in a trial where, you know, someone is suing a real estate company?
Okay.
Instead of just saying like, you know, yes, I can be unbiased, or no, I'm going to be biased, which is a specific thing that I need to talk to you about and I'm going to leave. Instead, somebody's like, well, I think I could be unbiased. I'm not sure. And then it becomes a conversation. So then they start talking. They're like, well, I have a friend who used to work in real estate. And, you know, I sometimes think about him fondly. And I'm not sure. You know, I'll try. I'll do my best. And you're like, shut up. Everyone's waiting.
So you have to do a demonstration of the expressions you were making when you realized people were talking more and that it was going to bleed over into the next day, which it did.
It did because of two people.
Yeah. Two
people basically couldn't shut up. They had to tell their life story about, you know, their feelings about this unbelievable, simple, cut and dry case. And so we had to now go into the next day and I had to bike from our apartment all the way down to City Hall in the rain.
You didn't have to bike. You chose to bike.
It was not raining when I left.
Yes.
And I always assume if it's not raining when I leave, it will never rain.
I can make that assumption too.
So I did bike the entire way to City Hall in the rain and was soaked when I got there. So I was in a bad mood. But I was giving the people my best exasperated looks. I was just like, and I was looking around, I was like, and it wasn't working. But anyway, so the point is these people, they come and they go, and some people are respectful. You know, they just give the answer. They're like, yes, no.
But you did not end up being on the jury.
I did not. I got out of the jury duty, not by some sort of trick.
No.
I got out because I had legitimate bias.
Yes.
Very legitimate bias. And I gave that bias in strong words, as you can imagine.
And got a laugh.
Got a good laugh. And I was
Andy
out.
gets laughs everywhere he goes. I'm sure that's not surprising. Well, Andy, do you feel ready to get going recapping the next batch of episodes for Love is Blind Season 7?
I am very ready.
It is interesting recapping late.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's a different flavor having thousands of people be like, ho, 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 ho.
Oh, yeah. It's like, oh, wait until you see. Yeah. I can tell something happens that goes against what we thought.
Yes. But what's weird is some people are like, good guesses. And other people are like, oh my God, yours are way off. And I'm like, wait, which is it?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's kept me on my toes because and also I have to say, even though there were kind of some light spoils where people are like, oh, this is going to be a 180 from where you thought. So, but I don't know exactly what they're talking about. So I don't know what the 180 is.
Yeah.
But we never got specific spoilers from all of the listeners.
Yeah.
I'm pretty impressed
From
by
what
that.
I understand, there was one, but we had our team comb it first. So it was removed.
Oh, yes. It was removed. Okay.
Yes. So there was one asshole out there.
Oh my God, who was that?
Who does that?
They thought they would be one of many. but they were the only one.
Yeah,
that's very
Shandy's
dangerous.
Respect.
That's why you should never do bad things, assuming everyone's going to be doing bad things.
Yes, Andy. A good takeaway. So we'll get going with Garrett and Taylor, our happy couple. Yeah. So in Washington, D.C., they're perusing each other's social media. I thought this was really cute. All their scenes are cute.
Super cute.
He prefaces with the fact that all he does is work and spearfish. So all he posts about is spearfishing. And indeed, all his posts are him with fish. Yeah. And how cute was this?
Yeah. Were you into my Instagram when you first met me?
Yeah. So Andy's Instagram, when I first met him, was all bugs.
Yeah. But bugs in my garden. Not
so they weren't just
bugs.
Yeah. No, they were all bugs that Andy found on or around his roof deck.
Yeah.
On plants.
In my plants.
Yeah.
They were good bugs, though. There's some good bug photos.
No, fantastic. I mean, you had a, what's it called? What's that big thing?
Oh, a praying mantis?
You had a praying mantis in there?
Yeah, eating a fly in slow motion.
Yeah.
It was good. I had to wait a long time for that one. That was like a real, National Geographic photo shoot.
It really was. Very good skills, Andy. But yeah, this scene reminded me of you a little bit. They visit his parents in Fredericksburg, Virginia. A lot of very practical discussion with his family about how wonderfully compatible they are. And his mother reminded me actually of like a recent Bachelor contestant's mother where it was like instant. Oh, was it Joey, Bachelor Joey's mother, who she was like almost instantly in tears?
Oh, yeah.
Like very like.
She was a big crier.
Big crier. And I found Garrett's mother to feel kind of similar. Like it's a big life decision. It's so fast. It was just very like, I don't know, taking it all. I guess, if it depends how seriously you want to take it.
Well, you know what it is? I think there are two types of parents. There are parents who just like whatever their child decides on and wants, they accept that as truth.
Yes.
And so they have to emotionally be invested.
Yes.
And then there are those parents who are like, no, I'm the boss. Like, don't do that thing. I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
So they're in control. So there's less emotion attached to it other than just, frustration or anger or whatever you call it when you don't agree with something that's going to happen to you.
Yeah, but isn't there another one where the parent is like the former, where they trust their child in their decision making, but they also trust that their child will make the best decisions for themselves, so they don't need to be so like upset?
That's the one I said.
Oh yeah.
First.
Oh, I felt like she was a little more like stressed.
Well, you can be stressed as the first type.
Okay.
You don't have to be super happy about it.
Yeah, no, she didn't seem too happy about it, even though Taylor, I got to say, handles this extremely well.
Yeah.
Like, wow, she is so well spoken. She basically says everything right, how much she loves Garrett. She sees a beautiful future with him. It just everything is just nailed, like knocked out of the park, like one home run after another. And this seems to appease his mother slightly. But we're getting an energy that he's very close with his family and lives close. It's not just the being close, it's the being, it's not just the, being close, but the being close to his family. Like this ends up coming up a lot in this batch of episodes, but him moving to San Diego, that is a sacrifice.
It's a big deal. I'm wondering how they're going to navigate that because she's really set on San Diego and he's agreed to go there, at least to try it out, but he's really set on being home.
Yeah. He's not that set. He's willing to do whatever for her.
He says that.
Yeah.
But what I see is someone who really, really wants to be near home.
Yes.
So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how powerful the love is.
Well, you can see who is calling the shots in this relationship.
Yeah. She laid down the law.
She did. She made it very clear it's her dream. Yeah. Her dream to have to raise her family in San Diego with her, where her family is.
That's what the thing is. If you have two people, I think we've said this before on an episode.
Yeah.
If you have a couple and one has a dream and one has a want, you always have to go with the dream.
Yes.
You can't bury a dream.
Yes. Okay. So Taylor now shows him her apartment. And this is where we get to finally see Garrett's sense of humor. He's good at the teasing, the ribbing, he's looking through her mail and making jokes about what he sees. They talk logistics here, and he makes it pretty clear that he would struggle to move to San Diego, what it would mean for his parents. He doesn't want his parents to be this type of grandparents who only see their grandkids like twice a year kind of thing. Yeah. And this is where I think Taylor, she's like, I'm the boss. She's like, well, you made it sound like in the pods that you would be happy to move to San Diego. You'd be excited. And now it sounds like a concession. First of all, great use of the word concession. But I don't know. I thought this was we saw this sort of like like, of course, like it's true, you know, it's a hypothetical thing that he can be excited about, but here they're together and planning their lives together, and she's holding him to it, holding him to something he had said, and he completely folds.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah. Would you say he's more into her than she is into him? I'm not saying this critically. I think they're beautiful. And for what it's worth, my mother always told me to marry someone who loved me 10% more than I loved them.
Yeah, we agreed. That was the initial contract we signed.
Yes.
I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like if I had to guess, if someone was going to end this relationship, it would be Taylor.
Yes. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so now over dinner. So this is after the Monica Stephen situation. And basically Taylor is praising Garrett for how well he handled it. I gotta say, I love that she praised him for this because I think this is hot.
Yeah.
Like how your
conflict resolution.
Yeah, and how your man handles your friends' breakup or situation, how they talk to them. I see this in you all the time, and I love it about you. Andy's really good at talking to my friends about breakups and stuff. It's amazing.
I'm basically one of the girls at this point.
You are.
Yeah.
You're one of the girls who happens to have the guy's perspective.
I've rescinded my manhood with pride.
They talk about the move yet again. And I love this about Taylor. So he's saying that he's having these conversations with his family, and she might not really like to hear what is being said in those conversations. And it's nothing against her personally. It's just more like what she represents. And she says that they can have those tough conversations about her. She doesn't need to know what they're saying, and she doesn't take it personally. That is such self-assuredness.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people would be like, well, what's being said? Should I be concerned? Oh, but that's not what I meant. Oh, blah, 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 blah. I may feel misunderstood. No. I need to defend myself. Like, she's not like that at all.
It's confidence. This couple has confidence.
Yes.
When two people in a relationship both have confidence, generally speaking, as long as everything else is sort of in place, it's gonna be a good relationship.
Yes.
It's also very important, I feel, in relationships, is to be able to be comfortable that your partner is out in the world in your circles and you're out in the world in their circles, and you don't have to worry about each other.
Yes.
Like if
That's
I knew,
the best feeling.
if you like, oh, I ran into your family and all your friends in this one spot, it's so coincidental, I wouldn't worry. I'd be like, oh, what is she going to say? Is she going to do something weird? Is she going to embarrass me? Is she going to say something she's not supposed to tell them?
I mean, I've been in that relationship.
Yeah. And I feel like I've been that guy in some relationships.
Oh, you think?
Because I had hostility towards my partner.
Oh.
And when you have, harboring hostility, you might do things passive aggressively. You don't even, they're wrong, but you do them anyway.
Oh, see, I've never gone that far.
Oh yeah, I've gone.
Yeah, I'm always too keen to be liked. It's like a blessing and a curse. So we learn here that it's Taylor's dad who doesn't want to be on camera, and we start to see Garrett's fears here. He's like, she doesn't hide the fact that she requires her family's approval to marry him.
Yeah,
and he's acutely aware of the fact that he might not be able to get that approval, considering, his father's not even willing to be on camera. Like, how much could he possibly approve of the process, even though she claims that the father does? Anyway, he's just scared because he wants to be with her so badly. I mean, cute.
Yeah.
Okay, and now they meet her friends, and immediately San Diego comes up again. That's the theme in this episode. And is he prepared to make that sacrifice? And the gist is he's all in. He says she's worth giving up everything for.
Even spearfishing.
She would never ask that. He says she's the holy grail of life.
Wow.
It might not have been verbatim, but that was the gist. The holy grail of life.
I mean,
I'm taking a lot of notes, okay,
I
when
feel
I
like
watch.
That's redundant. The holy grail is life, and then it's of life too.
I love his love for her. And their mutual love. Their mutual love is so beautiful, but there's something about the way he's so all in on her that feels not like something he does all the time. Like, you can tell Garrett's not the kind of guy who just goes around falling in love with women everywhere he goes. So that, first of all, adds some weight to this. But also there's something old school. I feel like we live in a time where if there's the slightest hiccup or inconvenience or logistical issue, then people are checked out, especially men. Yeah. From what I understand from my friends who are dating, it's like, oh, well, there was this one thing and he kind of like is fading. And we live in a time where you can just swipe and there's something else around the corner. So people are just less excited about the potential with someone. And I think they want like the finished product.
Well, I think it's patience you're talking about.
Yes.
I think patience is sort of a bygone virtue.
Yes, and effort. It takes sometimes effort for the better or the best thing for you, or even best is, an arbitrary thing, but a really great thing can often take effort. Maybe the person doesn't live within a 20-minute commute of you. Does that mean it's just not going to work? You know what I mean? And I feel like Garrett, his adoration of Taylor, adoration of.
I think he could do both.
Really?
I feel like it's a both situation.
He adores her. Yeah, okay.
My adoration for you, my adoration of you. I think you could do both.
Oh my goodness.
Is that possible? Would English allow for that?
I think so.
It's a very strict language.
Yes.
I don't know. It may not allow for that.
We'll see if the Shandies agree. But his adoration for Taylor, to me, is almost like a little old school. Yeah. Like it's like pre-dating apps. It's like, well, I found her. I've been looking for you. Like, I'm good. Yeah. I don't need to see anyone else. Well, I don't need to find someone who's in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Yeah.
Well, this is the thing about online dating. I think it's like a double-edged sword. Is on the one hand, you could say that, well, people are so, ADD about dating, because they always have the next best thing, like one swipe away, as you said.
Yeah.
That they will only finally settle down for the absolute perfect partner.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, if that's the case, how often do you meet the absolute perfect partner?
That's the thing.
Especially if there's always something a little more perfect around the corner in your mind.
In your mind.
Right, in your mind.
Yes.
So your mind's playing tricks on you. It's the paradox of bounty.
Yes.
So in other words,
choice is not your friend.
Well, that's why I think we're going slowly towards a world where there's way more people who stay single for possibly life. And then you have on the other side people who are like perfect matches. So there's like, that's where like the, if the XY, like the terminal point of that graph is going to be a very few number of people who are like, oh my God, we're perfect together, or couldn't be happier. And the vast majority is totally single and like, I'm just done. I'm not going to find my partner. I'm going to the grave single.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, it makes complete sense. And it's, to me, there's a lot in between there. Like the quote unquote perfect partner doesn't, there's no such thing.
Well, that's the thing. That's why, like, in small villages, probably like hundreds of years ago, or even now at this point, like 30 years ago, people were happier.
Yes.
They were just like, I don't have that much choice. How nice would it be to have just 10 people to choose from to be your partner for life? And there's no possibility there's any more than that.
I have said it before and I'll say it again. If I see a dress in the window, let's say it's a black dress, and I go in, and I'm so excited about this dress. I try on the dress and I'm about to buy the dress. And then the salesperson is like, oh, we also have it in these 3 other colors. I'm like, no.
I totally get it.
It's the worst.
And how nice is it to go to a restaurant and to sit down and see the menu and there's like 4 things on the menu.
Oh, I love that. That's the best.
It's like, I'll have all of them.
The best.
Done.
Yeah. Or even better when it has the date at the top. So it's like today's menu and it's like, this is it. This is all you got.
Yeah, you got no choice.
Yeah.
Our place is a very, very, very nice pan with no forever chemicals. There's never any toxins and nothing ever will stick to it. You'll see our place pan.
Oh, Andy, that was beautiful. It's true. Our place. This is our new favorite pan. And you are cradling there, cradling and stroking the Our Place Always Pan 2.0, and we love this thing. I mean, look how cute that is, first of all.
I didn't sing about how beautiful it was.
Yes,
there wasn't enough time, but look at this. Look at this.
Oh.
Have you ever seen a prettier piece of cookware? Seriously.
It's a work of art. And by the way, if this is not your color, they have plenty of colors to choose from. I just love that color. I think it's fabulous. And those forever chemicals you sang about so beautifully in your jingle, Andy, are not good for us.
No.
In fact, they are under increasing scrutiny outside of the States and in Europe.
Yeah.
They're going to be banned in 2025.
I mean, if you want to cook with banned chemicals, then go for it.
Yeah, that doesn't make you feel good, does it?
No.
I just feel good about using kitchen cookware and appliances that are non-toxic and sustainable.
And I think this is one of those pans where once you get it, this will be your last pan.
Well, if anything, you're like, oh my God, I love this so much. I want to deck my entire kitchen out. And they have all these really cute appliances, by the way, that look just as cute as this pan. It's not just the pan that's cute. You can really get that monochromatic, cool color scheme going in your kitchen. And Our Place has 75,000 5-star reviews.
75,000.
That's a lot.
That's 75,000 people woke up in the morning and said, you know what? I'm leaving a 5-star review
for my pen. Yeah.
So Our Place is having the biggest sale of the year right now.
Save up to 40% on your order right now through December 3rd.
Head to FromOurPlace.com/Shandy to see why over 1 million people have made the switch to Our Place kitchenware.
And with their 100-day risk-free trial, free shipping, and free returns, you can shop with total confidence.
Shop the Our Place Black Friday sale right now.
That's FromOurPlace.com/Shandy. So Andy, it's that time of year. It's a festive time.
It is.
A time for celebration, but also a time of stress about gift giving. Gift giving for the right person who maybe is curious, likes to learn things, maybe doesn't need a lot of stuff, like things, but maybe they want to expand their horizons, learn new skills. Maybe they're just curious about the world and what they're capable of.
Give a man a gift and it will be forgotten about within a week. Give a man a membership to Masterclass.
Yes.
And it will keep giving for a lifetime.
Yes. So Masterclass, in case you haven't heard of it, is the only streaming platform where you can learn from 200 plus of the world's best. And I just think that this is such a great idea. It's all in one place. And it really is the world's best. Like, this is taking advantage of the internet.
It's the gift of unlimited learning.
Yes. The one that finally put me over the edge was the gut health one.
Yeah. We watched that together and it changed our lives kind of.
We did.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we now do things totally differently.
We eat differently. It's actually made such a positive impact on our lives. Like, I always knew about gut health as this sort of like thing. And I was like, oh yeah, probiotics. But then when I watched this masterclass with these experts, right? Like, masterclass is all about these experts in their fields coming on and teaching you about said field. And some of them, by the way, are really fun. Like, you can learn how to overcome your fears with improv with Amy Poehler. You can learn how to write a stand-up set with Judd Apatow. And there's nothing else really out there like this. In terms of like learning, like normally you would have to go like take a course or something. I want to hear about creative writing from Margaret Atwood.
Well, we live in a time which is unprecedented. We have access to all these world-renowned experts at our fingertips.
Yes.
When else in history has that happened?
Yes. Why would you not take advantage of that?
I imagine if I had access to Masterclass when I was a teenager or in my 20s, like developing in this world, how different my life would be now.
Yeah.
I'd actually be good at things.
I love that you can watch on your phone, you can watch on your smart TV, you can watch on your tablet, you can even do audio mode. So it really just fits in with your lifestyle. Plus, there is no risk. Every Masterclass membership comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee.
So Masterclass always has great offers during the holidays, sometimes as much as 50% off.
Head over to masterclass.com/Shandy to see the current offer.
That's up to 50% off at masterclass.com/Shandy, masterclass.com/Shandy.
Okay, well, we can move on to Monica and Steven. So we have to touch on Mexico a bit because this plants a few seeds for what ends up happening in Washington. So the flowers become a theme. She mentions how he always said he would get her flowers, words lining up with actions matters to her.
You don't get me flowers.
Ever, apparently.
You don't sing me love songs.
Yeah. Well, apparently he claimed he would do those things and then hasn't. And Steven says, the flowers were more of a concept.
Can I use that from now on?
Honestly, you can just for the laugh. I allow you to bring that up. She says she's a words of affirmation person, acts of service, and gifts.
Gifts.
And this morphs now into a funny conversation about financial upbringing. I actually love it when this sort of thing is talked about. I wish it went a little deeper. Yeah. But he's like, I mean, I wouldn't be getting you like a Kate Spade bag.
Oh dear.
This just cracked me up because the second he said Kate Spade bag, and by the way, I actually, I mean, Kate Spade has its moments. Like, I love a preppy moment. Yeah. But I knew when he said Kate Spade that Monica is not a Kate Spade person.
No. He didn't understand what kind of bag she was talking about.
No, I mean, he hadn't heard of YSL or Louis Vuitton.
Oh, good for him.
And then there's the party, with the fireworks. And there's some tension here where she wants him to join, but he's talking to Garrett and wants to let Garrett finish whatever he was saying. And then I guess she watches the fireworks alone.
Oh.
And then
I will say, I'll be honest. I'm going to be honest here.
Yeah.
If you're in a fireworks watching situation with a bunch of people and something happens where your partner isn't with you when you're watching the fireworks, I think that is a little sad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I feel a little hurt by that. That's happened to me a couple times. I've been in the exact same situation.
I did that to you.
You did it to me. I was very upset. It was maybe the most deeply upset I've been at you in years.
It was too crowded. I just couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, we were in Sydney. Can I tell them?
Yeah, we were in Sydney. No, we were actually in Cairns.
That's right. You're right. We were in Australia. It was a huge trip. We were in Australia on New Year's Eve. And we were by this, our hotel was 10 feet from this beautiful pier.
But it was so crowded, I couldn't handle it.
It was crowded with Australian people. It's different. It's very peaceful. So anyway, there was this beautiful fireworks show that was about to go off. And I was tired. You were very tired.
Yeah.
And I was all dressed up, ready to watch fireworks.
I was dressed up too.
And you wouldn't come. I was like, come on, just watch the fireworks with me. Just 5 minutes of fireworks, and then we go eat dinner. You were hungry and tired.
Yeah.
All I wanted to do was watch the fireworks.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't watch them with me.
Yeah. I mean, I was tired. You know what I did was I napped, and it was great.
You know what? I'm telling you something else.
What?
That I was upset about. It's a very sad thing for a grown man to be watching fireworks alone. I was getting looks. I think that's the slight difference. Is I think if I had been standing there alone, I don't know if I would have gotten the same looks. Can I tell you the honest truth? What really happened?
What?
Is there was a woman with 3 kids, and she turned around because I was kind of getting close up to the front to make sure I had a good view, because there was a lot of people who were coming behind me.
Yeah.
And she looked at me, looked at her kids, looked back at me, and then she grabbed her kids and pulled them closer. This really happened.
I'm sorry I did that to you. I feel a little bad about that, but I think it's very telling that this scene, the fireworks scene at this party, it didn't, I thought she was kind of overreacting.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot happening here. The fireworks weren't the main event.
Yeah, I think that this is kind of almost a cultural thing, possibly. I think some people are like, oh, fireworks are so romantic. I want to hold hands, or kiss and watch the fireworks or something. For me, I am not a fireworks person.
You know what?
I think they're totally overrated.
I couldn't agree more, but I can't get over there's some things when as a kid, it gets so locked in that no matter what age you are, you can't let go of it. I don't even like fireworks anymore, but I have to go see them. And I know while I'm watching them, I'm like, yeah, I'm still not a fireworks guy, but I can't pull myself away.
Okay, you can't shake it. Yeah. Okay, so, I mean, I don't mean to defend Stephen, by the way, because we're going to get to Stephen. But I think in the isolated case of fireworks gate at this party, I did not think it was that big a deal. I could relate to him being like, I wanted to make sure Garrett got, said what he wanted to say.
And that happens all the time. So this is not the thing that he's a bad person.
No. But things get interesting when Stephen, talking with Taylor and Monica, starts running his mouth about knowing where you're at and having, down the road, having random people sliding into their DMs saying, I want to suck your dick.
Yeah. This was weird.
This was an interesting, even though there is truth to what he's saying, it's not the kind of thing you say when you're the person who it would happen to. It's more of a general understanding of having gone on TV.
And I also feel like when you get that specific about something like that, you kind of want it.
Yes. Yeah, it felt like something that he wasn't like, oh my God, this happened. Because at this point, he's still filming the show. It hasn't happened to him yet. So it shows an understanding of the potential of it happening.
Well, it's like being at a restaurant which has amazing desserts, and you're just finishing up dinner and you're like, oh, this place, and you're like a hardcore diabetic. You're not allowed to eat dessert.
Oh, okay.
And you're just like, this place has amazing desserts. You don't say that if you're not interested in desserts. You're basically saying it to open up the possibility that you're going to have dessert.
Of course. Why would you mention the desserts?
You don't mention the thing unless you want the thing.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's not great analogy.
No, I followed. Okay. It's impossible to separate him saying this, him having the thought. Not only having the thought, but saying it. That's the thing about Stephen. It's like, why would he say this? He doesn't really think before he speaks. And it's impossible to separate that from him being on the show. Yeah. It now officially colors everything with him. Okay, so now we're in Washington. She once again brings up the flowers. She says, more flowers, more flowers. I love all the flowers. I wrote, do flowers count if you had to ask for them?
Ooh, no.
I don't think they do.
Definitely not. As a matter of fact, I think it's somehow a negative. It hurts you.
Yeah.
If for instance, I didn't get you flowers and you're like, where are my flowers? And I went and got you flowers. I think that would be worse than me going and getting you something else you like that are not flowers.
The question is it better than you just not doing anything?
It's better than not doing anything, I think. Yeah, I have to agree with that.
Well, yeah.
But it's sad.
I find it sad. The idea of being like, I want flowers. I love flowers. You said you'd bring me flowers. And then, I mean, he is right. Later on when he takes her to a pressed flower workshop. What are you singing?
I can't stop singing the Neil Diamond.
You don't bring me flowers. Is that Neil Diamond?
Neil Diamond and Barbra Streisand. That was a famous duet.
Oh, I didn't know that was Neil Diamond.
Well, yeah, but they're singing about each other. They never dated, but in the song, he's saying, she's saying, you don't bring me flowers. And then he says, you don't sing me love songs.
Oh, that's sad.
Think. And they're both talking to each other about how they don't do the things that they like.
Yeah, that they used to do.
Everyone
the word
knows
anymore
that.
is key.
Anymore. Yeah. It's not like you never.
Yeah.
You weren't like Stephen. You brought me flowers at one time. Yeah. With Stephen, it's like, you never brought me flowers and you still don't.
Yeah, and you said you would when we were in the pods.
Yeah, that's good.
So he takes her to a pressed flower workshop. He says, I can't just give her flowers at this point, which is very true. Monica loves this. He mentions little plastic models here, which is a Dungeons and Dragons reference, I suppose. And the instructor teaching them the pressed flower thing seems to understand this. But Monica, the way she says, he loves it. She says it in this belittling way. Even though I know Stephen ends up being the bad guy in this relationship, like without question, I'm not defending him. I found Monica very belittling towards
I agree.
Stephen.
It's a general tone she has with him.
Yes. I don't want to let her off the hook entirely, even though I know she is ultimately the good guy in what ends up happening.
Well, yeah, but there's always shades of bad guy too. You can have two bad guys.
It sounds like he was cheating, so he's the bad guy.
He's definitely a bad guy. Well, let's not jump ahead. But I think there are shades. Sometimes you have two bad guys, and when one's a really bad guy, the less bad guy can look really good.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on whether or not the other person is sincere, and in this case, it seems like Stephen never was. Yeah. In which case, Monica's just like wiped clean. Yeah, like her slate is clear, right? She didn't do anything wrong because the person she was, in my opinion, kind of talking down to was never being sincere. But I do think that that's something that would behoove her to observe in her relationships. Like if she does end up dating a sincere guy, I think the way she sort of belittled him was not serving her in dating personally.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you.
Yeah,
like I was reminded of a story from the D&D Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Did you ever play Dungeons and Dragons?
No.
I never did either because I wasn't allowed to. Because when I was at summer camp and I was very young, I was just like 7, and the kids used to play Dungeons and Dragons, but I wasn't invited to play.
Oh.
And I always wanted to, but they were nice to me at this camp. It was a really rough and tumble camp.
This was not band camp.
No, this is
Andy was a rock star at band camp.
Yeah, no, band camp. I was killing it, but this is pre-band camp.
Oh,
this is rough camp.
Yeah,
I don't know why my parents sent me here. It was not a fun time.
Okay,
but anyway, I always wanted to play Dungeons and Dragons, and then they never would let me in. They never would. So one day, I just went over and I was like, I want to play. And they were like, no, get away. And they were being real jerks. So I just took like some pieces and just like, I was like, okay, see ya. Like I'm taking this dragon and wizard.
Yeah.
And one of the guys came out and beat me up. It was the first time I ever got beaten up in my life.
Oh my God.
He really beat me up. I was old school beating up, like punching me in the face and everything. It was unbelievable.
This camp.
Horrible camp.
Wow.
I was a baby.
Wow.
And this is an older kid too.
Wow.
And there was no discipline. I went to the counselor. I was like, I just got beaten up. And the guy's like, whatever, shake it off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a rough camp.
He was like, it was your fault. You stole the dragon.
Yeah, pretty much. He didn't even care. He was probably like smoking pot somewhere.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was
what a rough camp.
Anyway, I never played D&D. Never did. Never was allowed to play. Allowed to. I was never let in.
We can make this happen for ourselves.
You know what? Honestly, the next year, I had grown up enough to realize Dungeons and Dragons was a stupid game.
I don't think it's stupid. I think it has enough of a following. I don't think it's stupid.
I personally have no interest.
It sounds like you harbor some resentment.
I don't. I don't want to play Dungeons and Dragons ever. Get on with the recap.
For some reason, Monica feels the need to say that her pressed flower thing is prettier than his. I
And it actually is clearly not.
I actually did not think so. But yeah, I don't want it to sound like we're Team Steven at all. It's just, leading up until Steven was the bad guy, I noticed a lot of behavior from Monica in this relationship that I don't think is in her best interests in dating. Like, I think that it's something she could get a handle on. But who knows? Maybe, he brought that out in her. Okay, so now later we learn that he is unemployed at the moment. And she says she's got him. And then they start talking about sex. Some highlights include her saying, I'm saving my butt for my husband. And him saying, there's so many things you can put your dick inside, including a bowl of mac and cheese.
Yeah.
And she is like, have you ever done that? And he's like, no.
No, just mentioning it, just for mentioning's sake.
This conversation gets weird, like kind of weird in a funny way, but also I feel like it's sort of some foreshadowing for Steven's proclivities, maybe.
Yeah, Steven's got some real desires.
Some desires. I'm going to say it, I have a little fetish blue balls that in this next scene, the tense scene where Taylor's over comforting Monica, and it seems Monica has gone through his phone, found texts between Steven and someone else where he's talking about fetishes and coming.
Yeah. Not a good look.
Not a good look.
No. But he was doing it from the sleep apnea.
Yes. From the sleep test. That sounds like BS.
It sounds like BS. Although none of these scenarios are good. Like if I go to get a sleep test at some apnea clinic or a sleep clinic, I guess it's an apnea test at a sleep clinic. I don't know why I had to correct that. But I don't think I'm sitting there sexting with randos. I'm there. I'm focusing. I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to snore and I'm going to wake up and that's it.
Doesn't he know that you shouldn't be looking at a screen when you're sleeping?
Well, that's
like
another
right before
thing.
sleep.
Is that, I don't know if that's the main issue, but that is.
All I'm saying is it might help his sleep.
Put it this way. I don't think the clinician said what you should be doing before you go to sleep for the study is sexting. With randos.
This whole thing, how is it? Okay, so they're supposedly living together. He takes one night off to go do a sleep test, and that's the night he's sexting someone else. Like there was no sleep test. Oh. I don't think there was a sleep test. Yeah. This whole thing, I think Steven's a liar.
Yeah, I think there may have been some sleep and there may have been a test, but it was not a sleep test.
She says, why did you propose? Who are you? She makes him Venmo her back for carrying him.
By the way,
been back.
I found this.
I loved this.
I loved it too, but I wanted to know, how did he know the amount so quickly? He was like, done. Like, how did?
Well, it's possible they cut that part.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I don't know if it's
that might have been boring.
I mean, I would have been interested.
And also maybe not appropriate to reveal.
I mean, I would have been interested whether it was $20 or $2,000. I would want to know that.
They made it seem like he just knew, like she had lent him, she'd give him like a credit card with $1,000.
Well, she says for carrying you. It sounds like she's been supporting him since they got back. How rich is it that she's supporting him? He takes one night off out of the place and is sexting someone else. This guy's a real piece of work.
I'm still hung up on the fact that if she was supporting him the whole time, how was he so easily able to Venmo her all the money she gave him?
I was honestly, I was watching that scene and like a little nervous that it was going to be declined or something.
Oh, it may have been. Or maybe he just faked it. That's why it was so quick. He was like, oh, done.
But we heard the bring.
Oh, yeah,
that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Yeah,
maybe like the next day he gets your bank declined this or whatever notice. But I don't know. The whole scene, I loved that she made him do this.
Yeah.
Because, it's one thing to be like, can you Venmo me back? And he's like on his way. He's like, yeah, I will. And then he doesn't.
I think that's a good response to what he did.
Yes.
He has to pay for it.
Yes.
And how can she make him pay? Because honestly, he knows it's over. It's not like she's making him pay by that. She's not like, oh, I'll forgive you. Yeah. No, it's over.
It is. And what I find
she had to make him pay.
Yeah. And what I find interesting is he didn't fight for her. Like he didn't try to change her mind.
Not at all.
That's to me what's disturbing. Is even in the interest of preserving his image, you would think he would be like, I'm so sorry, I'm a fool, I la 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 la.
Well, the thing
but he was just like, I'll leave you alone now. He just says, you're right, I'm terrible, I don't deserve anything. I'll leave you alone now. I hate it when people do that, and it's just like, okay, so
it's your problem.
Yeah, it's your problem.
I'll leave you with your problem.
Yes.
I don't want to interrupt you.
Yes, like I don't even have the interest or the energy to defend myself is just so like it's the bottom barrel behavior to me.
But
it's
it also
like,
shows he was never sincere in the first place.
Exactly. He had nothing to hold on to.
Yeah. If in my past I've ever been caught in like some sort of fib, I will over the top defend not myself for doing it, but defend my love for the person.
Yes.
To say, look, I screwed up, but I screwed up in a way that doesn't affect the core of how I feel about you.
Well, so this is why we know that he was never that serious about her, and that he's an actor. And I kind of fell for it. Like I thought Stephen was sincere. He has those like big watery eyes. Yeah. Like I really thought that he was sincere. Yeah. And apparently he's just like a kind of double life kind of guy.
Yeah. His performance was electric.
I feel like we saw a glimpse of the real him at the end here, where he was just like checked out. He's like, I'll leave you alone now. And then he left. And there was just, his eyes are less watery here than they have been in the past.
Well, you know what it was? It was like, and scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He was like, clap. Okay. Yeah. I'm done.
Yeah. Where's at the craft services table?
Yes.
What do we got?
Oh. Okay. So next up we have Marissa and Ramses. This couple got interesting, didn't it? Okay. So in Washington, the major scene to talk about here, one of several actually, she returns home from a very long, nightmarish 2-hour commute to a cooking Ramses. Everything seems to be going well, even though his noodles are a la dente. They talk wedding details. She only wants a female officiant. She says that she wants it to be spiritual, but not religious. She says God can take a back seat. They talk about religion here. His mom, he says, would notice in a bad way if there was no Christian element. But to have a conversation like this about religion is really, I mean, when I see this, I realize that I'm starved for it.
I know.
You just don't see this every day.
They're really bringing out some heavy artillery in Love is Blind.
Okay, so now the big talking point is they talk military. She, her service comes up. She was in the Navy for 8 years, was it? 8 years?
8 years.
Like a long time for her young age. And she says, I don't support half the shit the military does. What we do in other countries, I don't support. Ramses says he will always heavily critique how the U.S. has destabilized other countries. And she says, yes, but I support the people, human beings. Yeah. And he says, but they sign up for it. And she says that she didn't sign up to go kill people. She didn't understand the gravity of that. And he says, it's the military, babe. And then she says, some people sign up when they're 18. They don't know what they're signing up for when they do it. She says she feels judged. And Andy, you felt for her.
I did.
She says, I know you don't like my military service. She says she grew up on bases. It's a huge part of her life. We'll actually learn later on in the same batch of episodes that she was even like encouraged to do it by her parents. Like it's the culture of her family. And she says she doesn't regret joining the military. And she says, I don't think I can handle you being ashamed of my service. And he says, I wouldn't want anyone to be ashamed of their past as long as it's in the past. So
he basically, this is where Ramses lost me, because no matter what you think of the military, and I have mixed feelings, but I still feel like you have to honor the servicemen and women. You can't criticize the individual for furthering potentially a larger scheme by a nation, because a lot of military ventures have poor intentions or misguided intentions or evil intentions sometimes. Yeah. Malicious intentions. Yeah. And you don't control that as a serviceman or woman.
Yeah, so what? It's like hate the game but not the players.
Exactly. It's almost the equivalent of someone from another country hating you because you're an American. You didn't really choose to be an American. You could leave America. You always have the choice. Like, I could leave America.
What he's arguing is you choose to join the military. Like, you did sign up for it. So, I mean, I see your point. And I felt very Canadian watching this scene, if I'm honest, just because I don't have like the same relationship with like the patriotism involving a country's military as I think Americans do. Like growing up in Canada, like I don't have a single friend who was in the military. And I think if I'd grown up here, I probably would know at least one or two people. Yeah. And so first of all, there's that. But what really stood out to me about this exchange was more so the relationship dynamic already being exposed, which is that she, having been in the military and it having been a big part of her life, is into having this nuanced conversation where she loves some things about it, she hates some things about it. There's a lot of like discussion in her opinion, while with him, it just feels very like, this is my opinion.
He's not bending.
Yeah.
He's acting all holier than thou. And he's not allowing for there to be a middle ground on this very sensitive topic.
Yeah.
She devoted a big part of her life to this, and he's not giving her 1 inch. She's just like, I don't believe in this. You better relinquish it. You better never talk about it again, or we're done. It's very strange.
Well, so we learn later on in this batch of episodes that he was born in Venezuela. So he has like a different perspective on this. But for me, I come back to, if this is someone you plan on marrying and you can't separate what someone did. How old is she? 31? You can't separate what a 31-year-old did for 8 years of her life from who she is as a person. If you love her and you want to marry her, that can't be some like thing that you're going to pretend doesn't exist. It's like, okay, it's like this dark like X in her past.
It's like saying like, I don't like your arms, so we're never going to talk about them ever again. Like, don't talk about your arms. I don't want to see them. Yeah, I don't like your arms. They don't appease me.
She is who she is. So the person he loves is who she is because of her time in the military.
It's part of her body at this point.
Yes. It's part of her mind, her opinions, her
DNA.
Her personality is a product of having done that. But those are such formative years. Even if she just left now, she went at 23, and I don't think she did. So she maybe did like 18 to 26. It's like bonkers to me that he wasn't able to at least meet her just slightly more in the middle.
Well, that's it. The thing is, as you said before, this is a classic hate the game, not the player situation. Yeah. Obviously, he's acting like she chose to be an executioner.
Yeah.
Because there are way, way fewer executioners, and we do not have to have executioners, and we do not have to execute people. And I can totally understand if someone was a partner of someone who chose to be an executioner, I'd be like, that's not going to fly with me. I can't do that. But the difference is you're choosing to be part of a military, which if no one did, let's just say tomorrow, so we're like, nope, no one, not a single person in the United States is choosing to be in the military or stay in the military. Tomorrow, you would be speaking a different language, or at least forced to. We would be taken over literally tomorrow.
Well, so they do touch on that, and she even says, she's like, the reason we're in this position is because the U.S. bullied all these countries. Like, they're the ones who got themselves in this position where they do need to have a really strong military.
The entire world is a result of one nation bullying another. The Roman Empire, the Greeks, the British, the US, the Turks, the Chinese, Genghis Khan. Like, it's gone on for all of humankind. Like, you cannot blame her for being part of a machine of a sovereign nation that's defending itself. And I have mixed feelings about war and military and everything, but this is a relationship between two people, and he's telling her to exercise a part of her that is at worst a nuanced conversation about morality. At worst.
Yeah, the morality thing. I felt that, he wasn't coming into this with a ton of empathy, which, again, regardless of your stance on the military, because I actually don't think this is about the military.
No, this is about him being principled. This is about him being stubborn about his principles.
Yeah.
And being cruel, I think.
Yeah, you felt he was unnecessarily cruel.
I think he was cruel. And I think she was too forgiving of his attack. And I think she was too compliant.
Well, she wanted to have a conversation. She was open to having a conversation. He just wasn't.
No, she was lovely. I'm not faulting her. I'm saying if I was in her position, I would not have been as kind.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing about her is that she has mixed feelings about it. So I just thought that he would meet her more at that place.
Well, that's the thing. It's like she has mixed feelings. She's already given him that. Because most people in the military would not have mixed feelings.
Yes.
They'd be like, wait, what did you say about the military? How dare you?
I can only imagine how a lot of people might have reacted to his take.
Yeah.
And again, it's not even about his take, because I think that he, given where he comes from, I totally see why he has the take he has. It's more his lack of willingness to have a nuanced conversation with her, the human here. And I also think, him saying, oh, they sign up for it, babe. they sign up for. This was really condescending to me. And I also think dehumanizes people who sign up for it for a multitude of reasons. And it's not always just because they want to be in the military. Like a lot of people don't necessarily have
They want an education.
Options. Yeah.
They need it. They don't have the financial means.
Yes.
And the military is the best way for them to get a head start.
Yes. There was a lot of,
Or they have no purpose. They have no direction, you know, or they really are proud to be an American, or they feel strongly that military service is a good discipline. Like there's so many reasons why you could say it's a good thing. But the fact that he's lucky enough to be with a woman who's conflicted about it, who served her time and is conflicted, that's as good as it's going to get. Like he knew he was getting involved in a relationship with someone who had a military past.
Yeah.
The best he could hope for is that she's conflicted. Was 95% of people come out of it extremely proud of their service without any conflict.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's not appreciating that.
Yeah.
And I think he's being inappropriate.
Yeah. I also think that your opinion on this, do you want to share about your father? Because I actually think it really adds to adds weight to your argument.
Yeah, my father was served in Vietnam as a medic.
And he didn't choose to enlist.
The opposite of choosing. He had just had a child. He just got back from his honeymoon. They literally got back from their honeymoon, and in the mail was a draft notice. So you could make a case that this ruined our family because my sister grew up without a father for the first year and a half, and he was exposed to Agent Orange and eventually developed the diseases, Lewy body, Parkinson's from Agent Orange, which was proven, and he died. It was just a mess.
This is how Andy's father passed away. So I wanted to add that to this conversation because I think that it shows your mixed feelings about the military.
Yeah, I mean, I have all the right in the world to hate the military, but I think it's a very complicated discussion.
Yeah.
You can't just say, I'm not down with the military, therefore, if you don't relinquish your feelings about that, we're not going to be together.
Yeah. It's more like the foundation of communication, of being willing to meet in the middle over something you disagree on, or agreeing to disagree, or just being open to having a nuanced conversation. This to me with Ramses was concerning.
And it's a part of life. That's the thing that I don't like about what he's saying. Military is a part of life, whether you like it or not. Every sovereign nation must have a military force to defend itself because human beings are aggressive assholes and they always want what the other person has. And that's never going to end.
Yeah.
You can never just sit around without any military and expect to be okay. So if you have to have a military, people have to be in that military. And why are you going to criticize them and vilify them for choosing that, especially when there were other reasons like financial?
Yeah, they were incentivized to join the military. It's not like they just wanted to be in the military. Like they were getting something out of it.
Again, I like my executioner analogy.
Yeah.
You do not have to be an executioner. And if I was dating someone who chose to be one, I would break up with them.
Okay.
Remember that. If we get divorced, do not come to me if you're an executioner.
Don't slide into your DMs. Asking to suck your dick. What if they're like, I want to suck your dick?
Yeah, like, well,
I'm also an executioner.
So did you execute anybody, or were you just, just waiting for one?
Why are you thinking about that, Andy?
Sorry.
Okay, so they meet her friends now. Of course, this military conversation resurfaces. He thinks it's a morality thing. Andy, you wondered if he's trying to sabotage this relationship or if he's actually this principled to where he cannot bend at all.
I think it's all three. I think he's this principled. I think he's a bit of an annoying asshole. And I think he wants to sabotage the relationship.
Okay, so they meet her family now. And this is the other big scene. Oh my goodness. Marissa's mother is what I will call Marissa's mother is a producer's wet dream.
Oh my God.
Oh, does she deliver?
And she delivers she's not trying. I
think this is her.
Yeah, she's not acting.
She doesn't give a
She is a hard ass woman.
Yeah, she is
just
right off the bat. She's dissing Ramses' style.
Yeah,
his hair.
I mean, I have to say the DeBarge comment was right on the money. I was like, what does that remind you of? And like, oh, DeBarge, that's right.
And she inquires about his work pursuits. Turns out he dropped out of college. He doesn't have a degree, but he always had a job. And she wants to make sure he's not relying on Marissa's career and income as a lawyer. You can tell that Marissa's mother has been through it. She does not trust easily.
Yeah.
Especially men, it would
No,
seem.
she does not. Feel the beat of the rhythm of the night. You know the next line? I think that's DeBarge, right? Isn't that DeBarge?
I think.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure. It's a little before my time.
Anyway.
Anybody keep going?
Feel the beat of the rhythm of the night. Dance into the morning light. forget about the troubles on your mind. You can leave them all behind.
Oh.
Those are good lyrics.
Yeah.
Those are lyrics you can listen to.
Totally.
I could feel the beat of the rhythm of the night.
Yes,
I can dance until the morning light.
You sure
and
can.
I could forget about the troubles on my mind and leave them all behind. I'm into that.
And Ramses talks about how separating from his ex-wife was something he did. He makes it sound like he did it for her. It was best for her.
Yeah.
And then Marissa's mom pounces on the semantics of this. She's like, but did she also want to get divorced? And he was, or separate? And he was like, yeah. And she was like, so it was mutual. And he's like, yeah. And she's like, so she's like, you're making it sound like you were some saint. I actually kind of liked this.
Yeah. She has, like Ramses, it's an interesting foil for him. Ramses to me is a very complicated character.
Yes.
I both very strongly dislike him and really respect him at the same time. I don't know what's going on with Ramses.
Yeah.
He's you know what Ramses is? He's the kind of guy we should have more of in the movies these days. Where you're just like, oh, I love this guy. Wait, I don't like this guy.
Totally.
Now I'm confused, but I'm thinking.
Yeah.
This is what a person is. A person's not black and white. He is not black and white. And this mother, right away, you're like, I hate this woman. And then you're like, oh, wait a second. I agree with that.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. It's an interesting balance.
Yeah.
Two confusing people having a battle.
They were very well matched, actually, because he was able to roll with her blatant insults.
Yeah. Roll like almost like
unbelievably
like spiritually.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I couldn't believe it was almost like he was like a superhero of rolling with.
Yes.
I would have stood up and been like, I'm done. I'm not doing this.
I mean,
I'm not going to play this game. I'm not going to be your subject.
I kind of wondered if cameras hadn't been on, how differently this might have gone. Like, he really rolled with it. Like, she's like openly insulting his style.
But he never missed a
his
beat.
Hair.
He never even so much as like was off balance.
I did like this about him, how unflappable he was. Okay, so now Marissa's in the bathroom and her mother is saying that marriage is not forever. She says, quote, you tolerate each other until it's over.
Good God.
She wants to make sure they have a prenup. Too many men have screwed Marissa over. And Andy,
first of all, what's the prenup? Is Marissa wealthy?
No, but she's in law school. And I don't think that Ramses has the same like earning potential that Marissa will have after law school.
You know what?
No, I mean, I think
I respect that. Then you're right.
Fair.
That's fine.
But Andy, what you were struck by is how the non-reactions that Marissa's siblings were having to this entire scene.
It's incredible. It's almost like a cult. You're like, mother speaks truth.
They did all seem very desensitized to their mother's comments. Yeah. Ultimately, Marissa's mother says, it's fine. He's, welcome if Marissa accepts him. And he says, are you giving me your blessing right now? Is that what this is?
Good burn.
That was such a good comeback.
Yeah.
She says, if he hurts Marissa, she'll cut his balls off. And then we get a cutcha clean song.
This is where Love is Blind won me over with the music.
Yes.
If they make a cutting your balls off song,
yes,
I'm good.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
They chat at home now. Marissa says her mom needs therapy. She says, you're not going to say no to me at the altar, are you? And Ramses says, I'm locked in. That's not a no. What do you think that is? I'm locked in. I guess they're not allowed to say.
I'm locked in. Like it could sound like he's locked in a prison.
It's so insane to me that they can have the kind of intimacy they have on this show. And I know it's not that long, but it's still a while. And then at the altar, say yes or no. I know they're probably contractually obliged in some way, but I feel like I'd still be like, yeah, I'm locked in.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Yeah, it's just so cruel.
That's the construct of the show that I actually like, is that they're forced to act. You know what this is? This is basically F-Boy Island, but a very classy version. Because in F-Boy Island, they're not allowed, the whole game is to fool people into thinking that, whatever, I forget the whole construct. You know what F-Boy Island's about. But in this case, it's kind of the same thing in the sense that, yes, you can break up early when it becomes so obvious that there's no way to fake it anymore. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, once you get past a certain point, it's like you're basically acting until the altar if you don't want to be in it.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And it's really hard to tell sometimes because
they're living together. They're not living together on F-Boy Island.
Every time a conversation about whether they're in it or not comes up, they're always like, I'm in it.
Yeah.
I'm in it. until the altar. And they're like, nope, I was kidding.
Oh my God.
This is a messed up show.
It is messed up.
And I like that part of it. It's interesting.
Well, so speaking of messed up, we now start talking about birth control.
One side says for good American genes. One side says for good American genes. One side says for good American genes. Good American genes.
Yeah. A very wordy jingle, Andy. So Good American Always Fits jeans have 4-way stretch. This is unbelievable material. And they really are one size fits 4. I am normally a 2, okay? And I am wearing the 00 through 4. And when I saw these, I was like, I don't know if these are going to work. If they fit for a 00, they're not going to fit for me. But I mean, these jeans fit better than I think any other jeans in my closet, honestly.
I think you should do a spin.
Look.
Huh? It's a spin-worthy jean.
So these jeans adapt to your body. They don't stretch out, but what I love about this is if you are fluctuating a bit, the jeans always fit you. Normally with me, with jeans, it's like if I don't fit into the jeans aren't fitting, period. Meanwhile, there's just like a little bit of give, a little bit of stretch. They really do mold to your body.
And you have said around the house, I cannot believe these fit me many times.
Yes. I'm one of those people that tries on like 100 pair of jeans before she buys one. I'm normally that person because my body just doesn't, jeans don't agree with my body usually. These have defied all the rules with jeans with me. Like I ordered the size range based on my size and they fit on the first go.
And it's not just for some good Americans. It's for all good Americans because they have inclusive sizing.
I love that. They range from size 00 through plus size 32.
So shop now at goodamerican.com.
Use promo code Shandy for $50 off your first pair.
Don't forget to select podcast at checkout and choose Dear Shandy to let them know we sent you. You know, Sharleen, garbage is too broad a term. For the world. There is wet garbage and there is dry garbage.
There's food waste garbage and then non-food waste garbage.
Yes, and that food waste garbage has a place. It has a home, and that home is in a Lomi.
Yes, that's a good point, Andy. Garbage is not all created equal. Food waste, that's not actually garbage. If it's compostable, it's not
must
garbage.
Go back to the earth.
Yes, that's where it belongs.
There.
Totally. Instead, it's going to live in a plastic bag.
In a landfill.
Yeah, in a landfill where it will, instead of going back to the earth, it'll turn into methane. Is that really what?
The most powerful greenhouse gas.
Yeah. Was that really meant to happen with our food waste?
Clearly not.
And that's why Lomi is such a big part of our lives. We're looking at it right now. It's our electric countertop composter where literally with the push of a button, you can turn your food scraps, your food waste, your leftovers, whatever you're not eating, or it's not meant to be eaten, like maybe the core of an apple or the
skin of an avocado.
The skin of an avocado.
Or an egg shell.
Yes, or a banana peel. It all goes in there. And then with a push of a button, the Lomi turns it into soil, which you can then either sprinkle on your plants, or let's say you have no plants, you don't give a crap about plants. You could literally just throw that in the garbage and it's going to take up a fraction of the space. It's bone dry and it doesn't turn into methane over time. On top of that, the number of garbage bags we now take out of this apartment it's like less than half. Yeah. Because actually so much of our garbage, the weight and the wetness and just the sheer mass of it is food waste.
Yeah. When was the last time you dragged a heavy garbage bag that was trailing like a oil slick behind it? When was the last time that happened?
It's been a long time, actually.
Yeah. And the holidays are around the corner. Could there be a better gift?
Oh, for someone who's environmentally conscious, maybe who cooks a lot, maybe who has a garden. I mean, this is a great gift.
This is what I call an FU gift. This is basically saying like, now you owe me something.
Yes. So if you're ready to start making a positive environmental impact or just make cleanup a breeze, Lomi is perfect for you.
Head over to Lomi.com/Shandy and use promo code Shandy to get $50 off your Lomi.
That's $50 off at LOMI.com/Shandy with promo code Shandy.
Say goodbye to food waste and hello to a greener, cleaner kitchen with Lomi.
And with the holidays coming up, Lomi makes the perfect gift for someone on your shopping list. Well, Andy, we all have habits in our life. Good habits, bad habits, no judgment. But wouldn't it be nice to start off your day with a very good habit and know that no matter what you do for the rest of your day, you did that one good habit?
Yeah, it's like making your bed, brushing your teeth, AGing your one.
AGing your one, yes. AG1 truly is a good habit that we start off every day with, and I am not exaggerating. We really do. Every single morning, reach into the fridge. This is our canister of AG1. The AG1 lives inside. It's a green powder, and then you take a scoop, you put it in a glass of water, you give it a a whisk. You add the vitamin D3K2. And then right there in that one solitary glass, which by the way is surprisingly delicious, you have all of your vitamins, minerals, nutrients, whole food sourced ingredients, pre and probiotics, which is also a big one because gut health is major. So no matter what you've done for the rest of the day, no matter what terrible decisions you make with what you choose to consume for the rest of the day, you already are off to a great start. And recently, so my parents visited us while we were in Ireland, and my dad was having a lot of digestive issues. So he was like in a really bad mood for the first day and a half. And then my mom was like, you forgot to take your AG1, because my parents are into it now. Oh, yeah. So she gave him one, but right away he became regular.
That's amazing.
And he felt amazing, and suddenly he was himself again.
It's like a magic wand.
It is, like, especially when you're traveling. I cannot stress this enough. Like, we will not travel without our AG1, especially if there's a time difference and you have to adjust.
Well, you know what it is? Your dad even said it. He said it's a reset.
Yes.
It resets your body. I don't know what it's going to take for me to stop taking AG1. They're going to have to go out of business.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here to try to avoid. So this holiday season, try AG1 for yourself or even gift it to someone special.
It's the perfect time to focus on supporting your body with a surprisingly delicious daily health drink.
Every week in November, AG1 will be running a special Black Friday offer
for a free gift with your first subscription, in addition to the welcome kit with the vitamin D3K2.
So check out drinkag1.com/dearshandy to see what gift you can get this week.
That's drinkag1.com/dearshandy to start your holidays off on a healthier note while supplies last. We now start talking about birth control. She brings up trying for kids. It seems that she's like, if we got pregnant right now, I'd be fine. But ideally she's like 3 years, 2.5 years. And he wants more time to just be together. So then she's like, okay, birth control. And she doesn't want to she's not feeling thrilled about getting birth control. And this is so Ramses. He says, well, I don't want it to affect your mood or your body and stuff. So like, I guess we could do condoms, I guess. And she's like, yeah, that. He totally didn't mean that.
Okay.
But he said it because I think it sounded right. Yeah, and then she held him to it, which I love this about her. Oh, yeah, it was amazing. And he's like, do you enjoy condom sex? And she's like, yeah. And I just thought it was funny that he thinks that it's such a big difference to women.
I know, right?
How can he think that it's that different for her?
Can I just state the thing that I assume a lot of people are thinking?
Yeah.
How ironic is it that his name is Ramses? Literally a big brand of condom.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, he pronounces it Ramses.
Yeah.
But it's spelled the same way as Ramses condom.
Really?
So literally the brand behind Trojan is Ramses. Anyway, my point is, I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, okay.
Is that not hilarious?
I didn't know that. I didn't know about this.
I was thinking about that the whole time. I couldn't stop thinking about that.
So
he's probably been made fun of. As a matter of fact, if you want to really get psychological about this, I think he has a deep-rooted issue with condoms because of how much he was made fun of for his name as a kid.
He says condom sex, finally, by the way, it takes him a while to get there, but he's like, it's not enjoyable. He says sex is supposed to be mutually enjoyable. And she says, well, she's not going on birth control. And she's also the one who would be okay if they got pregnant. So he's the one who's not okay if they get pregnant, but he's also not the one who wants to wear condoms. So he is basically putting it on her. I do feel like with Ramses, it's a little his way or the highway. Like, I know, like, he wouldn't be the first man in history to not want to wear condoms.
But it's the same thing with the military thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's like he's acting like a thing that is very nuanced and has many different sides and angles and interpretations. It's like, oh, this is obviously the right opinion.
Yeah.
And it's annoying.
Yeah.
Like I'm conflicted with, I like people who are very principled. I think being principled is good.
Yeah.
If you're on the right side of the principle, but that's another conversation. But he's principled in a way that's unyielding
yes.
to other people's very valid opinions about a nuanced topic.
Yeah.
That's not cool. That's annoying.
Yeah. And what annoyed me a lot was just how he was like, yeah, I mean, I don't want to put your body through that. I don't want to put your mood through that. So I guess we could do condoms. But that was a totally like empty offer. We learn, like, literally minutes later, we learned that he actually doesn't want to wear condoms. He also doesn't want to get pregnant. It's like, so you were just saying that. You just liked how it sounded coming out of your mouth. It does feel like his way or the highway. Okay, so before we move on to Alex and Tim, though, we should predict, because I think it's clear we think that Garrett and Taylor are working out. Yeah. Obviously, Monica and Steven are over. So this is the first couple where I think our prediction might be kind of...
Yeah.
interesting. Or maybe we'll elicit more laughter from the Shandies.
I mean,
more snickering.
Yeah, there probably is a lot of snickering.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, yay or nay of them working out. 1, 2, 3, nay. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay, so now with Alex and Tim, we're all the way back in Mexico. Tim has decided he will stick around because, of course, the last we saw of them was the big cliffhanger. And now with Washington, D.C., they are both wearing green, but he's wearing Kelly green and she's wearing olive green. And she's like, we're matching again.
She's colorblind. Like me.
I have beef when it's not this, like, I'm sorry, but you can't say you're matching if one of you is wearing like periwinkle and the other one's wearing navy blue. Just because you're both wearing blue this is not matching.
I completely agree. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't compliment you on this outfit.
Oh,
you look absolutely delightful.
Okay, so they're game planning meeting her dad. This needs to be sort of strategized because her father is not super into all this. But Tim, oh my God, does he knock this out of the park or what?
Yeah.
What a strong first impression. He says on family, the topic of family, where you come from is going to dictate what you create. And this garners an eyebrow-raised nod from her father. Mm. And on the Navy, he says, getting in was the best decision of my life and getting out was the second best. This gets laughs. That's a great
There's
line.
a guy who doesn't feel good about his military service.
Well, he said second best was getting out. The best was going in. So maybe it's nuanced.
Oh, that's very confusing then.
Well, I think it's nuanced.
That's very nuanced. There you go. Another guy.
Yeah. Maybe more people feel nuanced about it than you'd think.
Maybe they do. Yeah.
So Tim now speaks with Alex's father, Mr. Bird, separately. He reads him the letter he had written him in the pods, asking for her hand in marriage. And her father is so deeply moved. I mean, this was a scene. This was so beautiful. Yeah. You could tell her father is one tough cookie. Oh, yeah. And he starts crying here. He says, she's my baby girl. We just met, but I believe in you. He accepts. He gives his blessing. Andy, you said, it's heartbreaking that I'm sure this isn't going to work out. Do you still feel that way? I
always feel a little bit more for the parents who get sucked in than for the actual people in the relationship.
Yeah.
Quotes.
Okay, so now Alex and Tim go to his house and his place is so beautiful.
Oh my God.
So tidy and so stylish. Yeah. He has a trombone and he has dino nuggets.
Oh, you play trombone.
I did play trombone. I still have my trombone. And this so cute. There's some art of him with a crown on his head and his dog with a crown on his head. So
cute.
And Andy, you didn't think she gave the right response to this.
Absolutely not.
This deserved a lot more oohing and eyeing.
Absolutely more.
She wants to change the couches. She's like, what's with guys and lazy boys? And he says, your ancestors dreamed of this technology. I wrote, they have their moments. They have a cute banter once in a while.
Yeah. But it feels like kind of neggy banter.
Neggy banter.
Really loving banter.
His dog has a couch. I love this guy.
Cute.
Tim. Who doesn't love Tim? Okay, and now they go to her place. And suddenly, it was a little rich that she had anything to criticize about his place. That's very Alex to me.
That's glass houses right there.
Yes. Alex, that sums up Alex to me. Is you go to her place, it looks the way it does, yet she's at his place, and she's like, oh, this is a weird choice.
Yeah. I mean, she threw a heavy stone.
She really did. Borderline hoarder issues
borderline.
Here, but it seems like she's working on it. She's got the trash bags. And I know that that's an actual like issue for some people. So I don't mean to like make fun. But I do think if you're going to go on this show, you've got to know that there's
that
like,
out.
Why wouldn't you tidy before leaving?
Maybe that was tidied. She did have the garbage bags out there. Maybe that was in a state of the cleanest it's been in years.
It is so cruel that they don't let them go and tidy before they go film at the place.
Oh, yeah. But they have the warning before. They could tidy
you're going to go film the show.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be told to tidy. It's ridiculous.
Apparently you do. She says, it's weird having him there. She says, I've never shown someone my mess. You can tell she's a little ashamed here. And I just thought he was so kind. Like Tim, he never made her feel bad, but he was like, oh,
I would have made her feel bad.
Oh, I know.
You talked about my lazy boy.
Do we think they're going to work out?
No.
Okay. So moving on to Hannah and Nick. So in Washington, lots of discussion about functioning as an adult in life today. So a lot of housekeeping cleaning, cooking, taking out of the trash, paying the bills, investing in stocks.
Yeah, Hannah's really on top of her game for a 26-year-old.
Well, we've learned that she has been working since she was 15 on her own financially since she was 18. And you can tell she's very type A, and she's had to be. And it's actually very impressive in some ways.
I agree.
But I do find it a little much she delivers that. I think you can show and not tell.
Well, it's also extremely unromantic. I mean, you got to ease into that conversation.
Right. She is on Nick's case about taking out the trash, needing to be told to take out the trash. She basically says she's smarter and more emotionally intelligent than him, but also better at everything than him.
You know what I think at this point? This is an example of a relationship where I think that Hannah, and people are going to disagree with me, and I love the fact that I don't know what happens, which I may be so wrong on this.
Yeah.
Which is good. It's, you know what? Without risk, opinions mean nothing.
Yes.
So I think Hannah knows this is 100% knows this is a sham. This is not happening. She just wants some TV time. She wants to take it to the altar and see what happens and have the full experience, the full Love is Blind experience, so to speak. And I think what she's doing through this process is trying to make Nick a better boyfriend for his future partner. I really do. I think she's just like, this is how it's done, you fool.
That's very
generous.
This
is what you do.
That's generous of you to think that she is so generous.
That's what I'm feeling. But she seems very smart. Hannah seems like she's on the ball, and I think she knows what's happening in this relationship.
She's smart, but she's also... I don't think Hannah is easy to date. I don't
know. Hannah's terrible to date.
Yeah, she's
but
not
I think
easy
if she
to date.
Finds the exact right person,
but
she's a lot more loving.
But we even get later when we meet her family that there is no exact right person because she always finds something to nitpick.
That's true.
I think that Hannah has some growing up to do too. It's obvious the ways in which Nick has to grow up, but I think Hannah is overly grown up in some ways and not enough in others.
I completely agree.
She's not mellow enough.
Yeah, there's a dichotomy there.
Yeah, you have to be a little more
it's
mellow.
Dissonance. It's classic dissonance.
Totally. Okay, so they go to Nick's parents' house where he lives, and in his confessional he says, if you think that's embarrassing, that's fine. I love my parents.
Aw, it's both embarrassing and nice.
I think it's cute.
Yeah, it's nice.
I do think he is a little behind on the living on his own
on a
part.
lot of things. He seems to be behind on a lot of things.
She goes to the basement where he lives and she says, have you read all these books? Andy, you said, what a time we live in. They weren't that many books.
I mean, there was a time when people would walk into an apartment and the entire circumference, all the walls would be covered with books. And the assumption would be that you had read all the books. You didn't even have to say that. Like now there's 6 books, 3 of which were woodworking for dummies or something. And she's asking if you read all I wasn't even 100% sure if this was a joke. But if it was, that's a funny joke.
Hannah says a lot of things that are not meant to be jokes.
It might have been a joke.
They are funny.
If it was a joke, then I feel stupid.
First of all, I think it was more like a dozen books. It was 10 to 12 books. And I don't even think we're I think we read. We both read.
My reading has gone way since the advent of the phone has destroyed my reading.
Yeah, but
I used to
been
read
better
a book every 2 weeks.
We've been better since the pandemic.
We
made a point. Actually, it started with me. I'll take credit.
Yeah, no, I'll give it to you.
I started reading more books, and then it inspired you to read more books. And now I would say you read at least as many books as that were on his shelf a year.
But I go through. I read 10 books at the same time.
Yeah.
And some never make it to the end. I just lose interest.
Okay.
That's my new strategy.
Yeah.
Because I'm so ADD with the goddamn phone that
No,
I can't
you're
just buy one book and read a whole book.
No, you're not. You're not ADD.
I'm a little more ADD than I used to be.
You have a high standard for book. And if the book is not interesting to you, then you stop reading
That's
book.
true. Thank you, wife.
Yes. You just have taste.
Thank you.
Okay. So he manages to quickly plug his real estate career here. He's got these cards and he's like, oh, if anyone's looking.
I mean, let's face it.
Agent.
Was this not the full arc of what he was trying to do on this show?
So that's the big question.
That's it. He was waiting for this reveal moment. He had the business cards ready there, all stacked up neatly. And that was it.
Do we think that was Nick's purpose for being? Okay.
100 trillion %.
Okay. She asks how long he's lived in the basement. Turns out 2 years. And before that, he was upstairs.
He's moved down. Nick, we have to have a talk. You're not allowed in the human part of the house anymore.
Okay, so now Hannah's cooking at home and she's annoyed that she has to ask Nick to take out the trash. She doesn't just take out the trash. And this turns into a discussion about cleaning. Turns out she vacuums every single day. We're realizing Hannah's like...
She's OCD.
She's at that level. Like, she's a clean freak.
Yeah.
I have a friend like this. And it's like...
You know what? I'd prefer her over Alex.
Oh, yeah.
100 times.
I would rather be with a clean freak.
100 out of 100 times.
And then this turns into a conversation about debt. She says, I'm financially more literate than you, which is a harsh thing to say, but it sounds like it's incredibly true in this case. She does sort of talk down to him. I don't love this. This to me is not a sustainable dynamic.
It's also kicking an injured animal when it's like, come on, Nick's obviously got some shortcomings. Like, love him for them. Don't hate him for it.
And his parents paying for things comes up. So she's like, how would we split this? How would we split this? What would you pay for that? No. Groceries cost $300, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I don't think groceries are that much. And I was like, oh, Nick.
Yeah, what country do you live in?
Oh, you haven't paid for groceries in some time.
Yeah.
$300 is not that crazy to spend on groceries nowadays, especially in a big city.
Yeah, you pay $300 for like dried mangoes. Like that's
dried mangoes.
Yeah, just one bag of dried mangoes, organic, non-GMO, $300.
And now this turns into a conversation about stocks. And at this point, I thought she was just doing this on purpose. Yeah. When she was talking circles around him,
turning the knife.
Yeah, I do feel like he does need to grow up a little bit.
Absolutely. But that's why I say I think she's trying to give him like a master class on being a human.
Yeah, but she could do it a lot more kindly.
In this relationship. Yeah.
She's not kind about it.
Oh, I'm not. There's no way I'm condoning how unkind she is about it. I'm just saying that I think her motivation here is like, I'm going to make you better.
Yeah.
But my legacy will be making you better. I have no interest in. Yeah, I have no interest in being with you.
Okay, later on, cooking yet again. She's also cooking here.
Yeah.
She cooks.
She cooks.
She's the cook.
She cleans. She invests. She works.
He asks if she wants help, and she says, okay, boil the pasta. And he literally looks in the fridge.
Oh, dear. I don't know what's going on. Is he joking?
He doesn't know how to boil water. He's like, how much should I fill this up?
Is this an act? Is he pulling an act here?
Andy was convinced that he was acting because it was so unbelievable.
I knew how to make pasta before I knew what boiling water or food was.
Hannah's brother joins now, and we absolutely loved him to the point that we both said we wished we had a gay brother.
Oh my God. Right? I want a gay brother.
I want a gay brother. I want a Cade in my life.
Should we start an app where you can get a gay brother?
Get a gay brother. Getagaybrother.com. They talk about housework yet again. And he makes a dig about being unemployed because I guess she's out of work at the moment. And she's like, there's a difference between being funny and mean. And then when she's in the bathroom...
Can't take it. She can dish it, but she can't take it.
What was so interesting is when she's in the bathroom, Nick, to her brother, is like, sometimes she's like mean. And I was expecting her brother to be like, don't talk shit about my sister to me. Instead, he was like, yeah, she is mean.
Oh, totally. That was great.
Next up,
and you know what that shows, by the way?
What?
That shows because you know when they edit this, you don't see the full interaction, so you kind of get it in like movie style.
Yeah.
But it shows that he had some rapport with the brother to know enough that Hannah is such
a hard ass
that he felt comfortable talking to her gay brother about it.
Yeah. Why did you add gay in there?
You know what? That's a good point. I should be called out for that. I'm not sure that was relevant. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe more loyal? Gay brothers are more loyal than straight brothers? I don't know. Anyway, my point is that he must have felt very comfortable with how terrible she is in these situations. So literally, when she's gone, to talk to her brother about it.
No, that's actually a good point. I think Nick is socially adept.
Yeah.
Okay, so now he meets her family, and we immediately see why Hannah is the way she is.
Oh, yeah.
Based on her family. Like the way even her own mother semi-jokes about her relationship with Hannah's father and how she's still not sure. And it's been many years.
It's all gallows humor. It's like it's just one gallows humor after another.
Yeah,
it's like life is just one terrible joke about itself.
Yes. Hannah asks if they're going to grill Nick. And they're like, no, they're sure he's been grilled enough. And they're like, you're the one who'd have to live with him.
Yeah. You know, it's a very, I don't want to say passionless, but it's like they're clearly emotion is not a big word in their vocabulary.
No.
They're very comfortable living outside of emotion.
Yes, and outside of affection.
Outside of affection. And honestly, like in passing conversations and hangouts, I think her parents would be a hoot to hang out with.
I think Hannah too, but I wouldn't want to be in a relationship.
I don't want to be in a relationship.
No.
I don't want to be their child, and I don't want to be in a relationship
You need
with
a
her.
little more vulnerability than this.
You have to have it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you grow up. The more walls you put up, the less enjoyable life is.
Yeah. The takeaway here is that Hannah is very critical. Her own mother says she's very critical. She always finds something. So apparently the fact that Nick made it this far is a big deal. Okay, so now Hannah meets Nick's parents, and this could not go more differently because his mother is just like the sweetest. Both his parents are the gushiest, most loving, like, oh my God, I love them.
Sweet.
I love them so much.
Yeah.
She brings a bunch of gifts, knowing that his mother likes pineapple. She brings like pineapple paraphernalia, and they love this. It's so cute.
You know what, Nick is a mama's boy.
He is.
And he's so endearing. But when you see Nick, and when you kind of like, oh, that's a player, he's cool. Nick is not that cool.
No.
Nick is a real mama's boy, and it's very endearing. I can imagine it being frustrating in a relationship.
Yes.
But that's what he is.
Yeah, but what I like about Nick is he unquestionably respects women.
Unquestionably, and you can see why.
Yes. His own mother is like, he is used to being around strong women.
Yeah.
I don't feel like he disrespects women.
I completely agree.
That's what I think. Maybe, hopefully some dirt doesn't come out about Nick and then I'm proven wrong. I get more snickers from the audience.
I know. My gut is that this guy is not the player that people think he is.
No.
That's my gut.
And you can just totally see why he is the way he is. Okay, so do we think that they're going to work out? 1, 2, 3, yay or nay? 1, 2, 3, nay. Okay.
That was a nay, right?
I said nay.
You got to be strong on your N. You got a weak N. Yes.
Okay, so finally, Ashley and Tyler. Okay, so we do have to go in chronological order, but there is so much to discuss. Everything looks a little different now that we've seen this final scene. Okay, so in Washington, D.C., they discuss kids' names. Ashley says, I welcome your opinions. I thought that was funny. And they agree that he can pick out the son's name. Okay. Isn't that funny how differently all this lands now that we know what we know? And actually, I don't even fully know what there is to know, but we'll talk about it in a second. They meet her father, who I wrote literally looks 35. Tyler says all the right stuff about her, his work, wanting kids. He made me feel safe enough that I could feel soft, is what Ashley says about him. Turns out he's very chivalrous. He opens the door and stuff.
He does a lot of chivalry.
He asks her dad for her hand in marriage. Dad says yes. This all goes swimmingly. And then later we meet his dog Kobe, who's so cute. They talk baby names some more. He likes the name Timmy. She disagrees. Andy, you did not like the name Timmy.
I don't think Timmy's a great name. It doesn't seem like a serious name.
It sounds like a name from like a Christmas movie that you watch as a child.
Little Tiny Tim.
Yeah. Tiny there.
Yeah, I think that's what it's pretty sure that's what you're thinking.
I thought I just came up with that.
Yeah, no, but it's Timothy.
Yes.
But even Timothy.
You don't like the name.
I personally think like if someone was like, if it was like medieval times and I was a peasant and someone said you were being summoned to the castle to meet with King Tim. I'm not worried about this. I got this.
I mean, we do have another Tim on this season, Tim on this season, and he's absolutely lovely.
No, but if you're a lovely person, then Tim becomes a lovely name. But I'm saying if you're just like blank slate, if you just have to put a name on someone, I don't choose Timothy.
So what you're saying is the name Timothy is non-threatening.
It's very unthreatening.
That's okay.
And yeah, it's not. You're saying like I don't have a name. I'm just just here.
Okay, so now we're at the very tense scene at the end of this batch of episodes.
I think it's a bad idea to just outright make fun of all Tims.
Oh,
but
and the thing about Tims is they can make fun of their name.
That's true.
I have confidence.
Tims are humble.
Yes.
Tims are self-deprecating.
Yes.
Funny. Tims are usually funny.
And they're nice.
Tims are fun to hang out with.
They're good, nice people.
Okay, we're covered.
All right.
We're good. You're good?
Okay, so the tense scene. Apparently, Tyler has not 1, not 2, but 3 kids. And 2 girls and a boy. She says, who are these people? I feel like I should know that. And we're piecing this together. Wow. She says she's not upset about him trying to help a couple have kids. And she refers to them as sperm babies and then corrects herself and says sperm donor baby.
Last time I checked, I think all babies are sperm babies, but I don't know. Maybe there's some other type.
So she feels she should have known this. I think we can all agree. And he insists he'll fight for them. And then we hear a song that goes, "This didn't go how we planned it." Those are the lyrics.
I was hoping the song would incorporate the word sperm somehow, but that's too far. Then they'd be totally making fun of
I think
themselves.
Cutcha.
Yeah, that's as far as they're willing to go.
Most literal we were going to get. Okay, so before we talk about this, because we could just talk about what we saw, but we got a lot of comments from people, and we did welcome these questions and comments asking us to make sure we looked into the Tyler stuff. And I didn't want to be spoiled. So what I did was I asked a friend who has seen the whole season, and she gave me enough information to know that what we saw in the show is not necessarily the whole entire truth, but that what gets discussed at the reunion involving Tyler, it becomes sort of a he said versus the show, or he said versus TikTok said. So I guess TikTok claims that those are his children or something, and that he's
they're definitely his children.
No, I know, but like, I don't, the question is...
Like, they're more his children than he's making it seem like.
Yes, like he's not just a sperm
Like, he
donor.
actually just had kids with people. Like normal kids situation.
He donated his sperm in a different capacity.
He donated his sperm to a woman's vagina.
Okay, so what we're seeing on the show is not the full truth, is the conclusion here.
Yeah, I think that clearly he has some skeletons in the closet.
Yes.
Skeletons in the basement. Sorry, skeletons under the floor. Is there a difference?
Under the floorboards? Bodies under the floorboards.
Oh, bodies
skeletons
under the
in the
floorboards.
closet.
Yeah, it's getting late in the recap.
Yeah.
So losing steam. But yes, he has skeletons in the closet.
Yes.
Right? Skeletons.
I mean, now looking back, I do feel like Tyler was a little too good to be true. But of course, it's always easy to say that in retrospect.
It's always easy to say
for those of you snickering at us over there.
Well,
but
this is the problem with shows like this. This is season 7?
Yeah.
7 seasons in. You think people don't know the script by now?
Yeah.
They don't know how this works.
Yeah. And it's almost alarming it's not almost alarming. It is alarming how someone can go on the show and go so far. And really, like, it's one thing to just lead someone on. It's another thing to get engaged.
Yeah.
Like, Ashley's in this. She's in this, and he fails to mention this.
It's terrible.
And it would be one thing if it wasn't someone he knew. He just went to a sperm bank, donated his sperm, and then he doesn't know who took the sperm. But it sounds like it's someone he knows.
He knows. He knows them. I mean, you're narrowing down the possibilities of what could have happened here.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
What the obvious problem here is the fact that he didn't tell her.
Well, you know what this is? This is a classic semantics case.
Is it? This is not semantics.
No,
this is just lying by omission.
No, he is lying, but he thinks semantics somehow gets him out. It's like, I did not have sexual relations with that woman, right? It's like, okay.
But I did receive a couple blowjobs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, every day. But he is saying, I donated sperm.
Yes.
And you could say that. I mean, you could say that for every single person who has a child donated sperm.
So generous.
This generous donation
Wow.
of sperm. So, he thinks in his mind, he thinks that's the truth. And I feel like true liars are people who use semantics to get around the truth, because what you're doing is you're double lying. You're basically lying to yourself and you're lying to the person you're telling the thing. So I don't appreciate that.
You know what that sounds like? It's like tiring.
It's tiring.
Whenever I meet someone who lies a lot, and then their web of lies starts getting like caught up on itself, and it's like the knot starts becoming bigger and bigger and harder to unwind. I'm like, God, that sounds like tiring. That takes up a lot of energy.
Well, I think people talk about all the different ways, you can live a happy life, a fulfilled, perfect life. People are always searching for it. They search for it through reading, through therapy, through psychedelics. Everyone's always searching for it. But I really think it all boils down to living an honest life. And I'm not, believe me, I'm preaching. I don't always practice.
Yeah, and honest with yourself.
Honest in everything. Imagine if every single choice you ever made was at a place of pure honesty. How happy would you be? You'd never have to think. You'd be like, oh, what do I tell that person? Or what should I say to make it seem like this is the case?
Yeah.
Everything is just like,
Truth.
Oh, that tree has green leaves.
Yes.
And I am 5'6".
Okay, so suffice to say, there's more of a lie happening here than he's letting on. I feel really bad for her.
I feel bad. She seems really sweet.
She does, and she's sincere. Like, she's very in this. Yeah. Their hug at the end here, where she's just crying. You see that tear go down. Her eyes are closed. Her tears rolling down her cheek. I was just like, oh, you asshole.
Right?
Like, even if it really is everything you're saying, like, he's downplaying it, right? This is the best version of the story that it's going to be. It still isn't great because it shows that he wasn't telling her everything.
The other thing
they've had so many conversations about kids names, having a family, traditions with family.
The problem with this show is that not the problem with the show, but the problem with being on this show is sometimes I think you could be on the show and get involved with a person in a way that's not necessarily like you want to marry them.
Yeah.
But in a way where you are kind of attached. Like, this is a good friend. I have some romantic connection with them, and we'll probably be in contact after the show, but I'm not marrying them. But you still feel that human connection.
Yeah.
And then something like this happens. And it's not that you're like, oh, the man I'm going to marry is now I found out this, I'm not going to marry him. It's a person. Like, your faith in humanity is shook.
Yeah, you're attached.
Yeah.
And your faith in humanity. That's a big part.
That's it. It's a faith in humanity. You're like, oh my God, I was just completely like lied to by this nice guy.
That's what really gets me about this is what he committed is a true crime, because what he's doing is making her trust in the world, in humanity, in whoever she dates next is now shaky. Her intuition. I've always said that the worst thing anyone can do is make anyone doubt their own intuition. And that's what he's done here by lying, by omission, because it makes her question everything that he said, the communication, her ability to like sort through everything he said and interpret what they share, like he has done a big bad thing. That's all I'm saying.
A big bad thing.
And it's not about the donating of sperm. It's the shattering of the trust.
I will say again, buyer beware when you sign up for these shows.
Yes.
Because you think, oh, I'm going to be on TV. This is going to be fun. Who knows? Maybe I'll even find a wife or a husband. No. What you're going to find usually
is a big fat liar.
Is a big fat liar with 3 sperm babies.
Okay.
We should have a sperm baby.
Oh, yeah. Should we have a sperm baby?
Let's have a sperm baby.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it.
You want to have a sperm baby?
I want to have a sperm baby.
Okay, Andy, do we think they're going to work out? 1, 2, 3, yay or nay? 1, 2, 3, nay. Okay. Because I suspect that it's worse than he's making it sound. And I just don't want her to be screwed. Because I really like her. Yeah. I really like Ashley. Yeah. She's also so stunning.
She's really
Whenever
pretty.
she's on screen, I'm just staring at her face. She's the most perfect face I've ever seen in my life.
She's like an angel.
She's an angel. Yeah. Her lips, I'm like, what the hell? Like, of course you believe in God with those lips.
I think some people might take offense to that. I'm not sure.
Okay, that is a wrap, Andy, for this recap.
All right.
If you enjoyed what you
heard. Wait. She has GFLs. God-fearing lips. Sorry. Had to get that one out.
Okay. Who would we go for?
All right.
Let's guess with each other.
Okay. I'm going to go Garrett, Tim.
Garrett first, Tim second?
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Oh, thank you.
How did you get that?
I think it's kind of, first of all, by matter of elimination, I know you're not going for Ramses anymore.
Yeah.
Because he
lost me.
Lost you, yeah.
The birth control conversation, I was like, mm.
And obviously you're not going for sperm daddy. So it leaves 2 guys.
No, 3 guys.
Steven's gone.
There's Nick.
Oh. Oops. Okay.
Yeah, no, okay. I wouldn't go for Nick. I'm not interested in educating.
That gives you an idea of Charlene's type. I didn't even include Nick. It's Garrett or Tim.
Okay, it's Garrett first, Tim second.
I feel like, I don't know. Garrett seems like the right one.
Okay, for you, I think Taylor still. Am I right?
Who's second?
Marissa.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I actually thought about switching them because I think Marissa's got more bubbles to her, and I think Taylor's a little too mellow for you. That's a big way in which Taylor and I are different.
Well, this is the problem. Is between Taylor and Marissa, one's a little too bubbly for me.
Yeah.
Which is probably a fault in me rather than a fault in Marissa. And Taylor's a little too mellow. I want someone right in between the two of them.
And you found found her.
And that's this. That's what I got right in front of me.
Okay, that is a wrap, Andy, for this recap.
All right.
If you enjoyed what you heard today, you know what we will ask of you, and that is to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow us on Instagram, and
TikTok,
leave us Apple and
Spotify
podcast ratings and reviews. Tell your friends, and generally do all the things you would do to support a podcast you enjoy. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Ruby. Oh my God.
Oh, look at this angel. Look at this
She wants to make a move. She wants to make a move.
Okay, let her make a move. Go ahead. Go do whatever you want.
Ruby.
Oh, a double.
I won't be hurt. It's too cute.
No.
Okay, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Dear Shandy. Bye-bye.